I'm a mom of 4 kids, and these are the things I wish I knew about childcare before I had children. First and foremost, you need to get on that wait list for daycare. If you are planning to use daycare, get on the wait list the second you find out you are pregnant. Wait lists are very, very long, and sometimes your kid will not start until they're 2 years old, and I'm saying that from experience. So get on that wait list as soon as you know. Second, it is important to know what kind of childcare is available to you. There's many different forms of childcare. They all have different costs associated with them and different pros and cons. You can go with a nanny, which tends to be the most expensive route. You could do daycare, which is very expensive and oftentimes very difficult to find. We have a childcare crisis going on right now in our country, but there is daycare and different forms of daycare. You can do a nanny share, which is a little bit different than a nanny, but it just means you're sharing that nanny with another family. You still need to pay them a good wage. That's important to note. You could do an au pair, and then oftentimes people rely on family, which is not my favorite because I think it's unreliable and often takes advantage of people and their time. However, having said that, if you need childcare for your children and you're budgeting, don't stop budgeting when they turn 5, when they hit public school age, because you will still need childcare. And arguably it gets more difficult because there's random half days every week. There's random days off every single month. There's a week off in February that you have to plan for in the entire summer. So when you are a parent of a school age kid, I have actually found that it is much more difficult to navigate and manage childcare because it's also very difficult to register for. Camps you're registering for in January. You have to pay for everything up front. It is very expensive. Oftentimes you have to sign on at midnight and just fingers crossed, hope you get in where you want to go. And that's sometimes the case for after school care too. So you're either looking at before school programs, after school programs, summer programs, a summer nanny, and after school nanny. There's a lot of childcare to coordinate. And so I know this is a lot of information, but planning for childcare and the cost of childcare is incredibly stressful. It is one of the biggest stressors for parents right now because there is a childcare crisis, and so it's very difficult to find childcare that is both reliable and safe and affordable. And even when you do, this is my last tip, have a backup, because the daycare where we currently go had a pipe flood the entire first floor, and all the families that had a child in one of those classes did not have childcare for 6 months. So even when you think you have childcare sorted out, you might not. Always, always, always have backup plans and like a secondary childcare source for things like that, because unfortunately, it happens more often than you think that childcare will fall through. So I hope this is helpful. As a parent of 4 kids, I know it has been something I think about constantly. I have a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 3.5-year-old, and a 2-year-old, and I am still constantly coordinating childcare, and mostly for my older kids right now. So I wish I could tell you that the stress goes away when planning childcare. It doesn't. The cost goes down slightly, not a lot. It does go down, but the stress unfortunately remains.